Oh man, I am not gonna lie today. The results are surprising me. Yo, it's your boy RGG, a regular gun guy. Welcome to my YouTube channel, where I bring you gun content that everybody can relate to. If this is your first time here and you enjoy this video, leave me a thumbs up and smash that sub button. And if you return it to the channel, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Why are we doing a comparison video between the CZ P10C ported and the Canik MC9 Prime? Well, two reasons. One, because they're kind of in the same department, compact size carry gun, that Glock 19-ish size gun. That's one reason. Also, people have been asking me. I had several people ask me in comments, email, like, you should compare these two particular guns. So I said, you know what, why not? It would be a good comparison. It's something that I would be interested in. I want to do what I like to call a practical. Boy, this has been one of my favorite words lately, practical. But I would like to do what I call a practical comparison. And I only want to talk about the things that matter to most of us as consumers and gun owners. I don't really want to dig into all the nooks, crannies, nuts, bolts, all that stuff. I really just want to go over the things that kind of matter the most. We're gonna compare these two guns, have a little fun. If you own both or either one of them, tell me the pros and cons. Tell me which one, based off of what I show you in this video, which one that you think is better. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing that we'll talk about is very, very subjective, but I think it does matter to some people, and that's the aesthetics, the looks of the gun. Now, even though both of these are kind of, you know, slated to be concealed guns that you'll be concealing, so some people won't care how they look, right? Most people carry Glocks and they're not the prettiest guns in the world, but I think, you know, people do care about how a gun looks, because that's typically the first thing that attracts you to the firearm. Then we'll compare the triggers, right? Canik has been known for having great triggers, but CZ, some of their guns have pretty good triggers as well. So we'll compare these two and see what result we come up with, which one has the best trigger. Then we'll do some practical accuracy stuff, right? We'll do some shots from 7 yards. We'll take it back to 15 or 20 yards or something and see how each one of the guns perform. And then, of course, we'll talk some recoil, right? Because recoil is very important to everybody, no matter what gun you get, especially handguns. You know, you don't want that thing to be too snappy. Some guns, the damn near snap out your hand. You know, that's why I'm not a huge fan of the Springfield Hellcat. Shout out to those guys that love the Hellcats. I shot a Hellcat one time and it scarred me. It's like touching a hot stove. Ow! I don't want to shoot it no more, man. And then we'll talk about availability, and then we'll go over what I think is really, really important to everybody, which is value, what these guns go for. Are they priced fairly? What do you get for your price? And then I give you my final thoughts on which one, that if I'm gonna carry one of these two, which one I would choose. Let's get going, y'all. Okay, let's talk about the aesthetics first, and that's 1000% subjective, man. If I had to choose one that looks a little bit better in terms of just first glance, I'm probably looking at the Canik more. I would have to give the Canik the edge in terms of just aesthetics. I mean, flat out. I don't know, like, maybe that's just me. That's my opinion. Somebody else may feel that the CZ is better aesthetically. Now we'll talk about the features on the firearms real quick. Both of these have like ambi slide releases or slide stops, whichever one you want to call it. They both have nice aggressive serrations, even though the CZ has serrations over the top, which the Canik does not have. It's got the hole on the top versus the cock serrations on the top. Both have real nice fixed sights on them. The CZ has night sights in the rear and front, whereas the Canik has the blacked out rear sight and the bright night sight in the front. Cocking indicator on the Canik that some people don't like, some people do, not on the CZ. In terms of grip texture, the CZ has a very aggressive grip texture on it, whereas the Canik's grip texture is aggressive too, but more subtle. Like it's more, the stippling is more into the grip of the firearm. The Canik does have the mag well on the bottom, whereas the CZ does not. Both have flat face triggers, but they're kind of different. You know, the CZ almost doesn't look like a flat face trigger, but technically it is. They both have trigger safeties. All right, they both have rails you can put your lights on. Shout out to Optics Planet for supplying all of the accessories in this video. The lights you see, the optics you see. Other than that, they're both ported, right? So you got the big chunk port on the CZ, and you got the port on the top. Let me see if I can get You got the port on the top for the Canik. For the most part, they're very similar. They take down the same, pretty much like a Glock. Those are the features. If I had to give an edge on which gun has better features, I'm probably gonna lean toward the CZ. I lean toward the CZ because it has the serrations on the top. It has the big chunk port as opposed to the smaller port, and we'll see how those respond later on. The other thing with the CZ that I didn't mention, they're both optic cut, right? But the CZ, you have options. Here's the difference. On the Canik, direct mount right out of the box, RMSC. CZ is not direct mount out of the box. You have to get a plate for it, but you have the option to get the plate for whatever you want. RMR, RMSC, Delta Point Pro, whatever you want to put on this CZ, you can put on there. So I think that, to me, gives the CZ the edge in terms of features. All right, let's talk about the triggers on both of these. I got the Canik first. And a lot of people, and even including me, would assume that the Canik has the best trigger automatically out of the box. But I'll let you guys be the judge of this. Let me move my barrel over a little bit. All right, I'll let you guys be the judge of this. So here's the Canik trigger in the prime. Trigger safety, there's your take up. So from here to here is your wall, very defined wall. Break, nice clean break. Canik always has good triggers. And then reset, right there. So here go the break. Reset. Right there. Audible too. Let's go look at the CZ. Safety check. Downrange. Trigger safety. To the wall. Nice defined wall. Wall nice and solid. Take up is about the same. Break. A little grittier of a break. Let's see the reset. And a little bit longer reset. Let's go back. Break. Not bad at all though. And reset. Oh. I'm not gonna lie, they're closer than I thought initially, but in terms of the triggers, depending on if you're a trigger snob or not, I think they're both perfect for concealed carry. But if I had to pick one out of the two, I think the Canik has a better trigger. I was right. I anticipated that. I said that. I predicted that. In my opinion, the Canik has a better trigger. So, okay, I want to speak on availability for both of the guns real quick. After my last video that I did on the CZ, the P10C ported, I got quite a few emails and comments like, hey, wait a minute, man, I've been finding the P10C ported everywhere. What do you mean? I was speaking from my personal experience. I wasn't seeing it locally. And then funny thing is, the next day I went to the gun store after I put the video out. I went to the gun store and they had like 2 of them in there. So it was like, maybe I was wrong on that one, man, in terms of availability. So I could have scored that CZ a little higher for availability. Between these two, in terms of availability, I'm gonna give it a tie. I'm gonna just say they tied because I think you could pretty much find either one of these anywhere. All right, y'all, so now let's get into some practical accuracy stuff. I'm gonna go down range, show you the target that I'm shooting at. I'm at about 7 yards right now. So I wanna kind of compare the accuracy. I'm gonna shoot from 7 yards, then I'll shoot from 10 yards, and then we'll kind of compare the results from each gun, right? Just some groupings just to see which one I can shoot the best. All right, I'll take you down range, show you what I'm shooting at, okay? So I'm gonna shoot toward the headshot A zones from 7 yards, then I'm gonna back up to 15 yards and we're gonna shoot it. I gotta try to stay between, you know, up in this area, and then I'm gonna stay between this area. And each time I shoot with the guns, I'm gonna take 5 shots with each gun, and then I will mark off the 5 shots with each one. And then let's see how I go, man. I'm actually curious to see how this works out. We at 7 yards right now. I'm gonna start with the CZ, 5 shots. I'm gonna try to make sure I count 5 this time because I always go over. And then we'll go with the Canik, the camera up a little bit. Man, I like to feel tall when I'm on camera, man. So anyway, let's go. So I'm running the Shield Optic from Optics Planet, the MSC, the enclosed optics. All right, we're going up top, 5 shots with the CZ. All right, that was my 5 shots. Make safe. Let's go down range, down here and see what we got. And I don't know why I didn't record while I was shooting, but I will with the Canik. That's the 5 shots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me mark those off really fast, and then we'll shoot the Canik. Hold on, y'all. I'll be a little slow with it. So we're gonna circle that group, and that's CZ. We about to take 5 shots with the Canik, 7 yards up top. I'll mark that off as well. We hot. 5 shots with the Canik. Oh my God, my light came off. I don't think this light really goes on this gun. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go down here. First of all, make safe. Getting old. Grab my light that fell off. And let's go down here and look at the group from the Canik. Oh my goodness. Now that is pretty impressive. Let me find my marker. All right, let me mark off the shots from the Canik. 7 yards. Canik. Wow. All right, now we're gonna go to 15 yards and do the same thing. As you can see, now we have 15 yards. This time we're gonna start with the Canik. 15 yards. I'm gonna try to stay to the left side on this. All right, make safe. Damn it, I gotta learn how to catch that. Let's go down range and mark off the Canik shots from 15. Canik. All right. Now, we finna do the same exact thing with the CZ. I took the light off the Canik because it wasn't the right light for the actual gun. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but it just wasn't the right light. But let's do the CZ right now. 15. That's 5. Now, this is interesting, y'all. This is something interesting to look at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's from 15. This is the CZ. Something to think about. I'm gonna take some shots to the steel, and I want to get some close-ups and let you guys actually see the recoil. CZ first. All right, Canik. Oh man, I am not gonna lie today. The results are surprising me. So real quick, let's talk about what might be the most important part to everybody, right? To most people, should I say. And that's the value, the bang for your buck. You know, which one is going to win in that category in terms of affordability, whatever, however you want to word it. I'm going with the CZ, hands down. Like, we pretty much talking about which one would you conceal carry. So what I really thought was that, okay, with that chunk port in the CZ, in my mind, because I didn't have nothing out here to compare it to, it was recoiling I felt it, and it does shoot flat. It's a flat shooting gun with that big chunk port in the front, and it works from the factory. However, it's not recoiling that noticeably less than the prime. I promise you it's not. You have to shoot them side by side to see what I'm talking about. And I was more accurate with the prime. I don't know why. It could be the trigger. It could have been the red dot. Tell me in the comments what y'all think. But for whatever reason, I was just more accurate with the prime. So in terms of concealed carry, I would definitely choose the prime. Here's where it gets a little fuzzy. People are on budgets, especially nowadays with everything going on in the country. You know, Canik gives you a lot. They give you a crazy case, holster, couple mags. They give you, you know, all types of stuff in there. Do you really need it? Are you going to buy another holster anyway? Right? So you got to think. There's like almost a $200 difference in these firearms. Now, is the Canik $200 better than the CZ in my opinion? Probably not. Is the accuracy $200 better? Probably not. Is the trigger $200 better? Probably not. So you see where this guy shifted at? Like, yes, I would choose the Canik if I'm just going gun to gun, which one I shoot better, which one has a better trigger, which one looks better, that type of thing. But if I had to go out and I just needed a concealed carry gun and I'm on a budget, I can get something that's very comparable, save some money, a couple $100 that could go to an ammo, a red dot, or whatever I want to put on there, then you might have to lean CZ, man. Do me a favor. Stay solid. It's free. Defend what you love.